looks like... Oh, okay, here we go. Just started. Loser is a bit ahead. But I'm sure the timing isn't enough to really matter that much. Okay, and now we have Yoshikillers blocked up too. Cool. Alright, so the players are just right now going through the character creation screen. This is takes about a minute and has no influence whatsoever on the run. It's... if you played the game, you know that your choices do not matter. And this is one of the many choices that don't really matter. So, the one thing that kind of does matter is choosing the name. They just want to choose 2 different characters, Japanese characters, because that makes the text go by a slight bit faster. Slight advantage to choosing that. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. You can just mash A or Enter on all the first selections available. It's hard to say who's ahead right now. They're probably even. Yoshikiller started a bit after Bluezer, so there really shouldn't be any time loss yet. But now we're about to get into the real beginning of the run. Chris is going back into bed. And we're going to begin by picking up that little shiny thing up there. That's the wrist protector. It allows us to just hold down one button and just mash through text instantly. It's like an auto masher. Super useful. You kind of still want to mash buttons while text is coming up anyways, but thankfully with that it's a lot easier. So right now, the players are just going to be moving through this cave section, and movement's super important in this game because if you bump into anything, you'll lose a lot of speed. So the players are trying their best to just not bump any of the walls and move perfectly in line with the path. Loser right now is coming up to a puzzle. Okay, he kind of missed the double button, but he did manage to press one button without losing momentum. It's pretty tricky to get one. It's really tricky to get two, but it's a small little time save. Let's see if Yoshikiller gets it. Okay, Yoshikiller just opts to just play it safe. I haven't seen either of them really bump into anything though, so pretty good so far, both of them. Oh, Blizzard just talked to Susie. We didn't see her yet because we kind of skipped the beginning of the story by just going back into bed and skipping the introduction scene at the school. But Susie will be our on and off buddy throughout this race. Right now, Blizzard's running through some overworld bullets. Oh, he did get hit by one. It's not that big of a deal that he lost some health, but he did lose like a tiny bit of time from getting hit there. The health shouldn't really matter. If you get hit like 2 or 3 times, it could affect you later in the run because you don't really want to take damage, but there are a bunch of heal points that you can use to heal up, and it doesn't waste that much time. Should be fine. Yoshikiller1092 just going through those bullets. I don't think I've seen him get hit, so that's pretty cool for him. Loser just walked into the castle area, greeted by a mysterious figure in a hood. Cool. Find out later is a character named Ralsei. But before we find out that, here comes Lancer, cool kid on the motorcycle. And we're gonna do our first fight with him, and actually our first fight in the game. And what we want to see here, oh, okay. What we wanted to see here was 3 gold hits for the perfect fight. Gold hits are when you line up your shot at the, right there, what Bluezer just did, line up your shot with that little blue rectangle at the end. If you get 3 of those in a row, the fight goes by a little faster. Also, Bluezer intentionally had Susie hit there. That's for a later thing. If you don't get 3 gold hits, you can easily get a 4 turn by just defending after 2 hits, so... It looks like Bluezer got his 4 turn there pretty nicely, and he got damage on Susie, which is very useful for later. Oh, Yoshikiller just missed an attack. I wonder if that was supposed to be his 3rd gold. Oh, interesting, he didn't get his Susie hit. He might have not have noticed. That might have been useful to get Susie hit there. Okay, so now Ralsei is here, the fluffy goat boy. He's going to be with us for the remainder of the run, basically. Yeah, Ralsei's the little green guy with the pink scarf. And it looks like, I think Bluezer's probably like 10 seconds ahead or so, maybe 15. Not a big deal, because there's a lot of stuff That's important. That you could lose a lot of time on if you miss, like these encounter skips. Bluezer just ran past one Rudin, and let's see if he can run past the second one. Yeah, pretty nice. These ones aren't the hardest to avoid, but they can be a little tricky. Every player is running into them every now and then. Let's see if Yoshikiller. Yep, the first one's safe. The first one's pretty safe. The second one is a little bit nerve-wracking because you do have to cut close to the side. If you do get into a battle with this guy, it could cost you up to like 20 seconds, maybe more. Bluezer just got in a fight, a mandatory fight with a Happy. And he's just sparing one and defending so that he can have 2 turns with the same attack, which is that like heart circle thing. It's optimal to get that attack so that you can. Well, one thing you'll notice is during those fights when there's like enemy bullets up, the player will try and bring their heart as close as they can to the bullets, and that's because grazing in this game saves time. The more you graze during an attack, the faster the attack will go by. So the players aren't just playing it super risky. It's a time save. It's also a little bit risky, but these players are pretty good at the game, you know. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh, Susie just joined the party officially, but is standing at a distance to appear like she's not really part of it. Because that's her thing right now. Blizzard just did a puzzle there. Not a big deal. Not really worth talking about. You can mess it up, but Blizzard handled it so well. Wasn't a big deal. I'm betting Yoshi will get it first try as well. Yeah, looks like he knows what he's doing. Oh, here's the Jigsari fight. You can do this in 2 turn optimally. You can either attack with Chris and Rousey first turn, or you can defend first turn. Bluezer went for attack first turn. It's the same speed either way, as far as I know. But then you just defend the second turn so that Susie finishes off the last one. And because Chris and Rousey were defending, you saved a little time because you didn't have to have the little attack animation. Looks like Yoshi's also opting for a... Oh no, Bluezer just got in the Rudin fight right before the Great Board area. Dang, that's one of the many encounters in the overworld that are not guaranteed. They're kind of tricky. You have to get your timing right. So yeah, that cost him not too much time. He did it in 2 turns. He did it pretty well. It looked like he knew how to handle that. Probably only like 15 seconds lost there. Yoshi's just solving the box puzzle. One thing you can get here is a... Oh wow, that Pawnman got really close to Bluezer. That was kind of scary. That's probably one of the scariest encounters before you get to the castle area in the game. That Pawnman can come really close to if you bump too much. Oh no, Yoshi also getting the Rudin into the Rudin fight, so Yoshi's not really gonna save time over Bluezer from that. That's too bad. Hopefully he'll get a 2 turn. It won't really cost him too much time. Bluezer just chose the name of his team. I think the Lancer Gang is what we choose because it adds the shortest amount of text. It's also the best option, fortunately. So good stuff there. And Bluezer just went through the second Pawnman room. This is just one of those areas where you want to walk very carefully. Oh no, Yoshi ran into the first Pawnman. That one is probably one of the hardest encounters to avoid. So. It was tough. He got really close. He probably just bumped one too many times. Okay, Bluezer's going into the K round fight, and this is where Susie taking damage comes into play. If Susie gets targeted... Oh wow, Bluezer got first turn Susie targeted. It's basically 1 in 3. It's K-Ron's going to target one of the players on your team, and if Susie gets targeted in the first or second turn, you save time, because Susie being down during this fight allows you to skip her little attack animation each turn, and getting her down on the first turn actually saves 6 seconds, so that's pretty nice for Bluezer. Had a pretty smooth run so far. Except other than that Rudin fight, of course. Yep. Yoshikiller going through the second pawnman room here. Looks like his movement's way... Yeah, that was super clean. I don't think he bumped it once. Very nice. Susie just joined, if you look on Blue's screen, Susie just joined the bad guys. What's up with that, man? I thought she was with us. And we're gonna see her again here with Lancer. So she's gonna be on Lancer's side for a bit, and we're just gonna have Rousey on our team. Okay, Yoshikiller going into the Charon fight. Let's see. Oh, so Susie doesn't have any damage on her right now. Let's see if... Oh, Susie actually did get targeted the first turn. If Susie gets targeted the second turn as well, he can still actually get Susie down. It's pretty rare, but it definitely can happen. Let's see. Oh my, it actually happened. How about that? That is basically like a 1 in 9 chance, I would say. Like 11% chance. Pretty rare stuff we're seeing here on both players' ends. Pretty much optimal results for both players. That was pretty cool. On Blizzard's side, he just solved the puzzle and avoided a Bloxer there that really can't see you no matter how close you get to him, so it's not really a worry. And he's going to go into the Clover fight. Clover fight's really easy. All you got to do is show him the manual twice. The manual is what you get from Rousey earlier in the game. And he thinks it's so cute or something that you can just spare him the second turn, and he's like, no, I don't want to fight you. You guys seem cool. So yeah, that's a pretty easy fight. I think we used to attack Clover or something until, I think it was BBC. Could be wrong. I think it was BBC who figured out you could use the manual. Also, Blues are getting the Bloxer skip fairly easily. Happened so fast, I didn't even have time to talk about it. We'll see it again with Yoshi. We'll see if he gets it, but yeah, that's probably up there with the hardest encounter skips. The timing is really important. Unlike the other Bloxer, it can totally see you if you don't move just right. And getting into that fight, yeah, it's about 20 seconds or so. Time loss. Yoshikiller going through these beams. Doesn't get the beam phase, which is kind of a meme. I don't know if it actually saves time, but you can slide right through those beams if you go like pixel perfect. And yeah, Loser's just moving in through a few rooms before he gets to the maze section. Not much going on right now. Yoshikiller about to enter Clover fight. Shouldn't be a problem. The setup's pretty much so easy, you can't really mess it up unless you miss menu on accident. And the bullets aren't too bad to dodge either. So, because Blueser avoided that one Bloxer, he can now just slide up the side of the screen here, and the Bloxer will just bump against the wall before he can reach you. Because some enemies in this game have like physics where if they touch a wall, they'll just stick to it, and that's useful there. Let's see if Yoshi can get this Bloxer skip. Oh wow, good timing. He took a lot of time setting it up, but it was definitely worth it, because you do not want to get into that fight. Also, it looks like his health might be low enough that he's trying to avoid those overrail dancers. Meanwhile, Blueser's in the Lancer and Susie fight. Oh no! Oh, Rousey down. That is not good. It's okay. Looks like Blueser really didn't know what to do there for a second. It's totally fine. He just needs to have Rousey up to do the axe, because what you need to do in this fight is act on Lancer twice, Susie once to make her fall asleep, and then Lancer twice again, because you're trying to convince Lancer that he's not a bad guy and he shouldn't be fighting you. So yeah, Rousey's already back up, but it did take a couple turns there, so it's a little bit of time loss, unfortunately, for Blueser. Yeah, you'll see Blueser just made Susie fall asleep, and he's gonna act on Lancer 2 more times, and then the fight will be being a little more careful with the heart, with the little soul movement, trying to avoid those bullets so Rousey doesn't go down. You don't really want to be low health going into this section, because one, that fight comes up right after, and if you die there, you could lose a lot of time. And then the next thing, there's a bullet section coming up afterwards. Oh, so Blueser did touch the save box there to heal, so he'll be safe for the next section. Yoshikiller maneuvering to the side of the screen to avoid that Bloxer, just like Blueser did. Good stuff. Yeah. Loser's just going through a long dialogue section. All you do is hold right and mash some buttons to make the text go by a little bit faster. But it's going to be like a minute or two before he gets to the next part. So Yoshikiller's in the Lancer Susie fight. You can see, oh, it looks like, I think he mismenued there. He made Susie fall asleep first turn, which doesn't really do much. Yeah, I think that was just a mismenu, unfortunately. Not as bad as, oh, well, Rousey also went down. This is really unfortunate. Should be okay as long as Chris stays alive. Rousey will get up in a couple turns, because you, when players are down, they'll heal every turn they're down until they're back up again, so yeah, as long as Chris hangs in there, Yoshi should be fine. Loser, yeah, going through this overworld bullet section. He does have low health on a couple of his players, but I think he's fine to even get hit here. But I think he's managed to dodge all the bullets, so it's not a big deal. And he's getting locked up because Lancer betrayed them. Oh no, who saw that coming? Oh wow, Rousey down again in Yoshi's Lancer Susie fight. That's super unfortunate. All you can really do here is just wait some turns. He should just be acting now or defending with Chris probably. But that's okay. Just have to wait for Rousey to get back up. Because if Rousey's down, you can't do axe. Or you can't do the axe you need to do to end the battle. You could attack them, actually. You could attack Susie and Lancer until the fight's over, but it takes quite a while, especially with only one player up. So yeah, on Loser's end, Chris and Rousey and Susie are all in prison, but Susie kind of freed herself by beating up the prison guard, and she met Lancer in the midst of a conversation about how they're going to keep him locked up forever, and she's like, "How could you do this, Lancer? You betrayed our trust. I'm gonna attack you for that." Looks like Yoshi finished up the Lancer Susie fight despite all those little mishaps, which is really good because you don't want to die there. You don't want to have to die there, especially because if you do die in that fight, there's a glitch where you can't get back into the fight without a game crash. So Loser's in this little fight with Lancer here, and this is where grazing really comes into play. You can save, I think, up to like 6 seconds here, quite a bit if you graze really well. And if you get 100% on your TP meter, which is toilet paper meter, you get the true pacifist ending for the game. It's really neat. And if Loser doesn't, it is a failed run. Of course, I am joking. Totally fine. You don't get 100%. But really, you're not. I think Loser did get it, though. It's going to be close. I think from now on, all of Lancer's attacks will automatically avoid the hearts. You cannot gain any more TP after a certain point in the fight. TP is what you get from grazing, if I didn't make that clear. And it's used in a later fight to activate certain attacks, because you can use TP for attacks and magic spells and stuff. I didn't actually see, did Loser get 100? Oh well, I'm sure he's fine. Not important, but important for the meme. Yoshi safely made it past the escape section with the Rudin Rangers throwing some bullets at him. And he should be in the prison scene soon. It looks like he's maybe a minute behind now, which isn't, it's not, you know, an instant win for Loser, because there's a lot of stuff coming up in the castle that you can lose time on. The castle's one of the hardest sections of the game. Of course, it's the last section of the game. Yeah. So the first thing Loser's going to be doing once his elevator reaches the top is trying to avoid this Rudin Ranger. There's an easy setup and a slightly faster, a slightly harder, I would say, setup. I believe Loser will go for the safe setup. That's what he usually does in runs. I don't think he would go for the riskier setup during a race, but you never know. Let's see. Yeah. So the safer setup is here, just running out of the castle, hanging out here. Oh, he's equipping the shackles he got in the prison. That's useful for later. I'll explain later. And avoiding a Rune Ranger pretty easily. There's little beam skip you can do if you time it just right now. It's worth a shot. It saves like 0.3 seconds or something. Oh, and Loser's about to attempt the hardest puzzle in the game, so I'm just gonna give him a little silence here. Oh my god, he got it. Wow. Nice. That's actually insane that he got it like first try like that. So I haven't figured that one out entirely, but I think you're trying to push the ball. It's too hard. It takes fun. Going for head happy skip here. That is the hardest encounter skip in the game. He didn't really get that far into it. Looks like he hit a wall before he could start moving down into the corridor. So he's just going to go straight into the fight. And this is why he equipped Shackles early, because now if he gets 2 hits with Susie, no matter if they're gold or not. Oh, was that the second turn? I think Loser something must have happened his first turn, because he should have gotten that happy down, that head happy second hit, but something must have occurred there. So he did lose a little bit of time making a 3-turn head happy fight. Yoshi's just in the midst of his fight with Lancer in the prison area, collecting a little bit of TP, nice stuff. And he should be out of there and up the elevator in just a bit. Loser's entering the shop to buy the Brave Axe, which he'll equip to Susie. I think that increases attack by like 2 or 3 points. Anyways, it's really useful for the king fight that's coming up. It's necessary for the optimal king fight, so even though going in the shop costs a little bit of time, it's definitely a time save in the end. And here's K Round again, the little checker guy. Well, now he's a big checker guy. And this fight, while it's pretty easy to do, the yeeting the Go Boy at the crown thing, where you gotta aim like that, if you just saw it, can be kind of misleading, because you can line up the shot with the crown and still bounce off King. And optimally, you want to do what Loser did there, which is hit the crown exactly 3 times in a row, because then that's a 3-turn fight. If you miss once and you bump into K Round, it becomes a 4-turn. It's not a huge time loss or anything, but it definitely matters during runs. And Loser will be walking into the final battle here against King. So every player on the team has his default weapons, his or her default weapons, except for Susie, who has the Brave Axe and the Shackles. Brave Axe was the thing that Loser just bought, and Shackles were paying in prison. And I believe Loser will be going for the Breadbuster strats here, which involve using a stronger attack, taking more turns to do it, but saving time. We'll see how that goes. It sounds more complicated than it really is. What? Loser has some alternative music set up in this game. Not really sure what this song is. I like it though. Cool stuff. Yeah, so during Loser's fight, he's gonna be saving 60 TP, and then when he gets it, using Breadbuster during Chris's turn, and just defending with Rousey. One turn he wants to attack with Rousey, but the others he can just defend, and that saves a little bit of time so you don't get the attack. Otherwise, he just wants to get as much TP as he can. And Yoshikiller did also miss head happy skip. That is by far the hardest skip in the game though, so yeah. Really hard to get it, especially in a race. Also, during the king fight, you want to get as many gold hits as you can. You can miss, it depends on who's missing the shots, but you can only miss like 4 or 5 before 10 turn is no longer possible, and you'll have to go for 11 turn. But I think Loser has been getting a bunch of the gold hits. We'll see if it's enough. If it's not enough, he'll just have one more turn. The normal, which is like 10 seconds. Yoshi's coming up on the second hardest puzzle in the game. Oh, yeah, it's a hard one, so. But he got it second try, so fairly good stuff. So this is the 9th turn right now on Loser's side, the one with the DVD screen box kind of thing, and bounces the edges. And he should have one more turn after this, and if he did things right, king should be down. It looks like he's kind of short on TP. This could be an 11 turn. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, didn't have enough TP for a Red Buster or a Rude Buster, which only needs 50. We used to use something called Rude Buster strats, where you could actually defeat King in 9 turns. Oh yeah, and that was an 11 turn loser. You could defeat King in 9 turns, but it's a lot harder, so we switched to this 10 turn strategy. So yeah, King is down, and from this point on, there's really not much time lost. There's just a lot of dialogue and a bit of movement. So losers should have this win in the bag, unless something goes horribly wrong. Yoshi's not too far behind though. Just finished up the K round fight. I think he got a 3 turn. Looked pretty nice from what I saw. And he's going to be going to the King fight, and hopefully he'll get a 10 turn as well. Or, well, he'll get a 10 turn because loser actually did not. Well, that is if he goes for the Red Buster strats. If he goes for Rude Buster, he'll be hoping for a 9 turn, but 10 turn is also pretty good for Rude Buster. Alright, let's see. We'll find out what style of fight Yoshi's going for after his 2nd turn. Or, okay. Okay, no, so he's going for Red Buster. He's set up, if you want to do Red Buster 1 turn, you kind of have to set up the Red Buster. You have to, like, activate it. So that's kind of where the extra turn comes into play, because there's the 1 turn where you're not really doing much. Oh, and turns out Ralsei is indeed a go for it. Big spoilers there if you haven't played the game. Yoshikiller again a few golds. It looks pretty good, but I did notice. I think Susie doesn't have the Brave Axe, because I think that was a gold hit by Susie there, and it only did 1.5, which is not as much damage. Yeah, I think he doesn't have the Brave Axe for some reason. Maybe he forgot to buy it. So this fight will definitely not be 10 turn. I think he can get an 11 turn though. It's hard to say. But because he's doing less damage and King has 2800 damage, it's pretty tight. You need to get as many attacks as you can with the most damage that you can. So Loser's back up in the overworld, and it was all just a magical dream, turns out, in a supply closet. All that stuff that just happened. But Susie still thought it was pretty cool, so she's like, yeah, let's do this again. Yoshi should be probably over halfway through the fight right now. Let's see what turn he's on. Yeah, that's like the 6th or 7th turn, I think. And Blizzard's just navigating his way through the town, past the library. Oh! It went over to Sans, I believe, for a minute, just to check him out. I thought he might be going through some dialogue there, but he decided to go back on track and finish off the run for 28-25. It's a very respectable time, especially for a race. I think his PB is at 26:48 or so. But he did get a few encounters, and that's a very respectable time for what happened with him. Yoshi is on the King fight. Oh, is he? Let me just put that. Yoshi, I think, is he just stopping the run? Looks like. Yeah, it looks like Yoshi's not fighting King anymore. I think he can totally finish up if he wants to. I don't know if he can hear me. Not know how to contact him right now. If anyone can contact Yoshi, he can finish up the racer if he wants to, or he can just stay there. It's up to him. It looks like he is quitting the game. Yeah, I think Yoshi's has decided to just end his run. He probably saw Blizzard finish and just decided he's over it. He knows the victor. So yeah, congrats to Blizzard for the win. GG to both players. Both played super well, honestly. Pretty good runs by both. Both got about the same encounters. Yoshi only got that Pawn Man encounter, that extra Pawn Man encounter. It was overall good stuff. Very enjoyable to watch. And I think we're gonna soon maybe get the players on air as like a post-game commentary. I think I have to invite them to that. Let's see, or maybe they get invited themselves. Well, here, let me try and contact them. Well, while we're waiting, I might as well mention that we do have more Deltarune Tournament races coming up. Oh, okay. It sounds like both players can join the post-game commentary. As I was saying, we have a few more races coming up today, actually.
Ew.
Oh, hey, Blizzard, what's up? And I think we have Yoshi as well. How are you guys doing? Good race by both of you, by the way. GG's Blizzard for winning, but GG to Yoshi. Yeah, it was a pretty good race by both of you. I think you both actually got the root encounter right before Great Board, which is unfortunate, but it tied you up, so it didn't really matter. Yoshi, I saw you didn't finish your king fight. Did you just kind of feel like, did you just see that Boozer had already won and you just decided that you didn't really want to finish up? Oh, mic broke. Oh my gosh. Both of the players' mic broke. Okay, I thought they were just being silent there, giving me the silent treatment. Okay, we have a double mic break here, so maybe there will not be a post-game commentary. They are both apologizing in the chat. Very understandable. Yeah, so as I was saying, we still have another race today between Mr. Link 2K and Shay. That is in 23 minutes on this same channel that we're on right now. So stick around if you want to see that. And then also today we have 2 more races, if you can believe that, also on this channel. One at 6 p.m. PST, one at 6:30 p.m. PST. That's BBC versus Lori D. Bunnykins and Okapi versus Zan's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we have a few more races after that in the upcoming days. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything on this channel before the next Deltarune race. Probably not, considering there's only about 20 minutes before that. But just want to say thanks to Speed Gaming for having us on here. Thanks for the racers for participating. Really fun to watch. Yeah, GG's, and see you guys another time, I guess. Bye-bye.